Hey, Fitzy here, back at it again with another one. About 6 months ago, I treated myself to a new tool. Not very often I buy tools, I can guarantee you that. But this is something I've always wanted, and that was a tubing pipe bender. And I've been looking for one for a long time. I managed to go to our local Princess Auto, and they had one in stock, so I couldn't pass it up. So I'm going to show you how I installed it, how I mounted it on the floor. I run into some troubles. Stick around. Look what I got. New toys. I picked this up roughly about 6 months ago. I bought it at Princess Auto. It was a lot cheaper. They had this in stock here locally. Shipping an item this big here is expensive. You could probably buy these cheaper. Like if you live down the States somewhere. Shipping might be easier to down there than it would be here. Up here, shipping is murder, okay? They had this one on, it wasn't on sale. I waited for, I'd say, 8 months, over a year for sure, waiting for this to go on sale. Never did go on sale. And I checked it online today, and it's $100 off. So, that's all I would have saved anyway. But I wanted one of these now for a lot of years. I've used the old style benders for bending pipe. If you don't know exactly what this is, it's a manual tubing bender, okay? I want one of these because I'll be getting back a Crusty soon, and I'm going to need this to build a roll cage for it. It's a tool, like I don't buy a lot of tools, but over the years, certain tools I just keep wanting to have, and this is one of them. Yes, it's got nothing to do with metal, with bodywork and rust, but it's something that I enjoy fooling around with. I have a couple other ones, other cars that I got to do. People are after me to do roll cage now that they knows that I got this bender. So I'm going to haul this out of the box now and see what I got and figure out somewhere to put it, because the problem I got here is where to mount it or where I'm going to put it to. This has to be mounted somewhere where I can actually work on it, okay? Work with it. Now, I can't put it in the middle of a bay because there'll probably be cars here. I can move the cars or whatever. I had plans for another something for this bay anyway. And over here, like, same problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it between the two bays in the middle. These, usually the cars on this side I can move, okay? Usually what's over here is usually permanent for some reason or another. Usually it's a car that I'm working on or whatever. I try to keep this bay opened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it right here in the middle of this aisleway here. It's going to be set up so I can take it up out of it and put it away. But I need to put it somewhere where I can get the full swing. If I got like a 12-foot length of pipe, I got to be able to mount it in it, and I got to be able to swing it. I'd be able to move these cars to get it to swing either way or whatnot. So I think I'm going to have it so that it actually swings the pipe this way and into this section here instead of away. So I'll mount it more to this side, so it'll give me a little bit more room. But I got to mount it here because if I got it on the floor and I want to haul a vehicle in, I haven't got to take it up to move it. If I mounted it over here, I'd have to take it up to move the car in. So that's the plan here now. So let's take this out and have a look at it. Now that looks like a fine mess, doesn't it? Well, it comes with the pedestal stand. It's pretty beefy and heavy duty. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. Comes with a little dial indicator. Don't have the arm on it. I figured I'd make something up for that. Of course, there's all the attachments. It comes with 3 different size dies. All the instructions are there, of course. There's the size of the dies there that it comes with. The other ones here are 1 by 3, 1.5 by 5, 1 3/4 by 6. Okay, so most of the ones I'll be using this for roll bar pipe more than anything else, and probably some smaller diameter pipe, so it works that way. Works out pretty good. Most of this here, I gotta find a place to store it, so I gotta build somewhere I can actually store the parts for it. This is a problem I'm having here in the shop now, is I've got some stuff kicking around, it's just laying around. I gotta find homes for everything to be able to put stuff. And one of the things is this type of thing, I gotta find a place that I can put it and leave it stood up or whatnot. It's small when it's like this here, but I think when the top goes on, it's gonna be too heavy just to stand up. So I will have to find somewhere that I can actually store it. But now that I got this figured out, I've already played around with this there when I first got the machine. I had it bolted together and fitted together and sized up how it all went. So I got that figured out. Biggest thing I got to figure out now is I got to mount this to my garage floor, okay? Now my plan is, I gotta size this up. I don't know which way this gotta go. It really don't matter because the 4 holes are in the same location. So I can do that way, that way, that way, or that way, right? So that way this here can go in all different angles. But I'm thinking about mounting it somewhere like this here, along this section here. It has to be out in the middle. Like you would think mounting that against the wall, no, okay? You gotta have room for the pipe to bend, to be able to bend the pipe. Maybe put it against the wall here and have so the pipe goes there, but it always runs into it, because if you've got a pipe that's got a queer old shape to it, you're gonna want to have it out somewhere where you can actually have the pipe over this way here, and then you can bend it around this way, okay? So, I think I'm gonna find a spot there in the middle of the floor here now, right in the middle of this bay here, but I'm going to have it off-centered a small bit so that it basically gives him a bit of room to bend pipe that way. Looking at that there now, you can almost do a loop there if it worked out that way. But how I'm mounting this to the floor, I've done a lot of research on it, and I've come across these things here, okay? These are called drop-in concrete anchors. I went out the other day and bought all these. Get these out. I need a drill bit, half-inch drill bit, because that's the hole got to be drilled in the floor. But this is all they are, okay? You just drill a hole, half-inch hole, drop them down in the ground, and then basically this tool here, he drops that into there and hammers that down, and that's actually how it anchors in the bottom. The bottoms of these here got little tiny tabs on them, and when you push down on them, that'll widen out in the hole and hold it in place, and that's how it's anchored. Now, I wouldn't use these for like holding down a ramp or nothing like this, but it's good. It's great for this type of stuff. I wanted to have it so you can actually get ones that are actually studs that comes up out of the thing with a nut and everything on it, but I want to have it so that when I take this up, I can turn around and flush mount it and it won't interfere with nothing. You won't even know it's there. I'm also seriously thinking about having it so I can bolt other stuff to it as well. So whatever point that does it there, I can probably put my English wheel out there if I need be, or a bead roller or something like that. I can put that out there and bolt that to the floor so it's nice and solid on the floor. And being in the middle of the floor, it's always a good place to work from anyway. So I'm going to sit down now and figure this out. What you got to do with these here is I got to drill holes in your concrete floor. And I bought the bit for it. Okay. You got to use a hammer drill. I got that right here. It's the hammer drill. Got to lend that off one of the boys. So I'm going to turn around and set this up. Mark out 4 locations on the floor. And set this up so I can drill 4 holes. How many picked up on that was missing? I never had that in the first part when I was showing everything. I had that laid aside. I took it out of the box, laid it aside. Forgot to lay it with all the other gear. But yes, the handle is there. So here's what I got to mount this. I got them 4 drop-in concrete fasteners. I got bolts to bolt it down. They're just regular 3/8 bolts. It could be good. I got these set screws, because I want to put the set screws down into these here when I'm not using it, so it doesn't fill up with dirt when I'm not using it. And then I got the actual drill bit, which is a 1/2 inch, because that's the size these are on the outside, because they're 3/8 on the inside. What I done is I marked the depth of that I got to go with the hammer drill. You can see the bit down in the end of it here. That's how deep it'll go. I'll check that and make sure. So when I drops this in, this here will be flush to the concrete floor. I wanted to go with the small ones like this. I didn't want to go with nothing big and bulky because my floor is extremely smooth, and I want to be able to roll stuff around. And if I come across it with anything that's too big in the floor, the wheels will get caught in it. Now, 10 chances on they're probably going to get caught in it anyway, because that's always the way with these bloody wheels. But anyway, I got that there set up for that. I'm hoping the 4 of them should be strong enough to hold that there down. I could have went with bigger, but you know, I think 3/8 would be fine to hold that down. 4 of them, 4 3/8 bolts holding that to the floor, that should be fine. My floor here is extremely thick. I went overkill on this floor. In the middle of the floor here is 8 inches thick and is 16 on the outside, okay? It's a thick floor. I done it this way. We've always had trouble with frost. I spent a lot of money on this floor for this to go in here, because I had to set up if one day I ever wanted to put a ramp in her. That's coming. So I wanted to build a floor to be able to handle that. And also, like this place is here now 6 years and there's not a crack in the floor nowhere. It has mesh in it. and rebar along the outer edges of it. It's just regular concrete. I had it finished. I want it that way because I want to be able to roll cars on it. Some people don't like that. I like it for two reasons. You can roll cars on it, and it doesn't collect dust as much, okay? If this was a trowel finish type of floor, it gets dusty very easy and it's hard to clean. You always have to be hosing it off and whatever. At least this way here, this here. Now the trouble with this, if this is a garage where you're doing a lot of work in the wintertime, bringing in cars, bringing them out, and water and slush and snow gets on it, this gets extremely slippery. My garage is always dry, and I want it dry. I don't want to have wetness and dampness in the thing for the simple fact that the car's got a tendency to rust, okay? That's the reason for the smooth finish. Anyway, I'm babbling on. Let's get these 4 holes marked and get the holes drilled. I'm happy where this is to. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark the 4 locations where I want to drill this. Move that out of the way. We drilled it. See if this is all the way out. That. I almost forgot your safety glasses. Safety first. Always make sure that the holes are clear. I want to see now if that's down. Turn it up. If my holes are good. Yeah, that'll work for me. Okay. Now all you do with these is you got this bar in there and you hammer that down until this goes flush to the hole. That's a better spot. But you can see this gap here. I'm going to hammer that down so that is flush to the actual thing. So you can actually hear it. And that's it. That's in place. Let's screw that down into that, like so. Pretty simple and straightforward. I'm gonna go ahead now and drill them other 4. Get that done. That one. So there they are, all mounted in the floor. You can see how close they are. They're flush mounted, okay? They're a little bit below. Now, I'll have them set screws there now that I'll actually screw into them holes when I'm not using it, just to keep the dirt out of them. You can probably blow them out, but there's always, every now and again, something will fall down in there and it'll be too heavy to get out. It'll be a small rock or something like that. So I'll put the set screws in it so that I can actually be able to keep them clean. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this upper section and bolt it on here, and then just size up which way I'm going to mount it and what angle. I got a 50-50 chance of getting this right. Something tells me I got this on wrong. I'm going to have a look at the directions now and see if that is right. If the pivot end is out on the long side or on the short side. Well, that seems to be right. So I'm taking what is this? 3/4 inch socket. We'll tighten that up here now. So now I can start sizing this up. There we go. I may change this, the angle of it. I'm just going to bolt this down here now. I got lots of room here today. So once I get a feel for how it bends, where the pipe goes, I can decide, then I'll mark which side here I've got to bolt down to where. But for now, I'm just going to mount it where I think it could go. A lot of this is trial and tribulations, I can guarantee that. It's nice and solid bolted to the floor anyway. So I'll start putting this together now and see if I can figure it all out. One piece at a time. Okay, the instructions for this is, is something else. I've after assembling this once already now. I figured I'd take it apart and show you the process, because it seems like a lot of the people that gets these just puts them together and uses them. I'm going to go through the process of figuring things out. I went online, looked at a lot of photographs. It seems like that was the easiest way I could figure it out. The direction says this pin A and this pin B and this one goes that way. And I was never one good for reading directions, I can tell you that. But anyway, what I got done is, this is the pieces I got laid out on the floor here now, okay? We got the main arm that comes back here, this section here, and the actual die and the other section of the die. And then you got 4 pins. You got to figure out the 4 pins, okay? I played around with it. Each pin, this pin, the longest pin, goes with the die down through here. The next pin from there goes through the second die. The third pin, that goes, I'll figure it out. Oh, that goes on, I'll show you as it goes along. That's what I'm saying. This is very confusing trying to figure this out. The dial indicator is there. There's a little dial indicator here with a nut on it and a stop nut here. What I'm going to do now is take each individual piece. I'm going to start with these two here and that pin, install that, and then go through installing each individual piece. The tools that I use. The kit came with, or the tool actually came with two of these Allen keys. Don't know what size they are, but they were in the actual box when I got here. I got a 3/4 inch socket, 9/16 socket. I think that's an 8/17, a 17 wrench, and a 9/16. I'm pretty sure it's all metric, but I managed to get the 9/16 to fit it. I'm pretty sure everything on this is metric, so I'm a bit confusing here now because I'm using a 17 here and a 17 here and a 9/16 here. But that's us Canadians, right? We go both ways. But anyway, there's the tools. That's everything I use to put this together. As before, I got 4 bolts mounting it to the floor, 4 9/16 nuts. And the bottom side here, it came with 2 bolts. They were 17s, I think. And they just bolted up and tightened up into this plate here, okay? So that's that section, that's that mounted. Now this can be tricky. I had to find a way that I can do this. I can actually put it together. So I gotta put that in, I got the longest pin. I'll bring that back into there. And I gotta line all them up to pass right down through there. And that's part 1. Now let's swing around there. Okay. Now, second pin. This got an adjuster on it, and I'll show you why the adjuster's there. This adjusts the height of this against this die. So you can raise and lower this here to even this up in this die on this platform here. So I go ahead now. Is this the pin for that? Yes, that's the pin for that. The next longest pin is for holding this in place. And that just goes in there like so. And each of these holes got to do with the different diameter pipes and with each individual die. So once you mount this in place for this die, that's where it will stay. Now if you're looking through there, you can see the way the dies don't line up. This one here is higher than this one. That's the purpose of that set screw. See, there's the set screw there. You adjust that up and down to align the two of them there so that they're basically the same. So I need to lower that. Yeah. So I'm just going to lower that there now in place. As you can see, the set screw is there. Just going to loosen that up. Tighten this down a few turns. Trial and error. Tighten it up again, and then lay it in place. See, there's 2. And that looks pretty good there. So that's how you adjust the height of that, for that there. Now on the bottom of the bottom plate, there's a hole right here. And you got your plating system with all your dials on it, your angles. This is the large one. That fits over the bottom side of the pin. And this hole lines up with this hole. And there's an Allen key and a washer that'll actually hold it in place. Now we're going to move on to this. This has a pin that goes over that the pipe fits through, which is the shorter pin, the shortest of the pin. This is the medium size one. This one goes down into the dies here, so you can actually lock the die into place in each individual hole right here. See? That has to do when you're bending it, you can move it along to actual on your lever to get the bend on it. But anyway, okay, so that goes through there, and we got this long bolt that goes through here on the back side and threaded through. And that sticks out. That's how you lock your piece of pipe in place. As you can see it coming through here, when you put your pipe through here, this will screw into your pipe and you'll lock it in place like so, and that'll lock the pipe in place. Let's back that off for now. Then you got your little dial indicator. I may have changed this. I don't know if it's going to work or not. It's just a bit of round rod with a pointer on it. I've seen all kinds of different ones guys uses. This is the one that comes with this kit. And I'm just going to basically put this together now so I can see where this fits. That's a 9/16. That lasted long. I just broke that off. Well now, guess I'm going to have to get another one for it. The hole in the actual thing is very tight. That's screwed in too. I had that on there already. Well now, you can see, just snapped off. There's a very big hole in it. I'm not going to be, I'm going to have to make something for that now. I gotta try to get that out there now. Okay. I see what's going on there. Let's have something to do on there. Is that close enough to that that's interfering? And it's interfering in the, it's extremely close to that. Okay, I went through my bin of bolts and found another bolt that the two nuts will fit onto. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to drill a 1/8 hole through here. I don't know if I'm going to use the indicator that's there because I thought I saw something different. So I'm just going to use a piece of coat hanger and just run it through it there for now so I can actually get a dial on it, a dial indicator on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that drilled now. See, little hole drilled through that. And the problem I had is that this hole passes through the side of this here. So I can't go screwing this too far up into this here because it interferes with this bolt here. So this here bolt should have been out this way a small bit more, or that one should have been over that way a small bit more. But that's minor. It is, you know, sometimes you buy these tools and that type of thing happens. So that's all you're going to be worried about. I'll set that up there now. I'll put a coat hanger in and I'll bend it around to where I want it to. And I'll set that up and I'll just lock that in place there now. If you look down inside here and I put light into it, you can actually see the threads down on the bottom side there, where it actually protrudes through. That's wall, that is. So I got to be very careful with that. I got to make sure that I screws the bottom thing on, I only go up through threads and don't come into this here. Now I'm playing around with this here after tapping both of it. And when I come up here and I rotate this bolt here, it's binding there, right? That's where I'm binding up. So I'm going to back this down to here and then tighten this up. Line it up there and just take that bolt there, bring that right up to the top and lock that in place there. 9/16. That way that don't interfere with this one here, okay? So, always a dilemma. Anyway, I got that fixed. So I got that straightened away. That will go there. I got to keep this free, going back and forth here, so I can just turn it by hand. This here, I'm going to work on this later on when I get the pipe and everything in it. I'm going to make up the indicator for that thing. So now I'll go over and do the handle. These are 17s. I looked around the garage trying to find a piece of pipe. This is what I got here. See what I got to take some measurements of this now. It's 1/8 wall by what? Diameter of this thing. I think it's like 1.5" outside. Of course, I got horrible tape. Yeah, it's 1.5" on the outside diameter. Now that die in this here is 1.75", I think. It seems to fit in there pretty nice though, all the same. So I'll set this up here now and see where it goes. See what happens. Get that one off. Put this through. That pin in place. So I have it set up there. This here is screwed into the pipe. That's around that there. And it runs through there. As you can see, it fits the dies good. Okay. On the inside there. That's the whole purpose of that. Now the problem we got is over here now. If this is set up here now and I got this done so it's at 0. So 0 is here and the dial indicator is here. That little short indicator would be no good. So I'm going to get a piece of coat hanger now, put it through there, lock it in place and just bend it around and put it where I want it to here. All I got is an old scrap piece of coat hanger. I'm just going to put that through there now. Tighten that up. Just so it snugs up on me. I got something to go by. This is only a test here now. That's held in place there now. Now I got that set up on 0. That's the purpose behind the coat hanger. I'll just turn that around this way here now and set this up so that it actually is on 0. And I got that set on 0 there now. Nothing fancy. You no need for that. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to see if this puppy works. And there goes nothing. There's a bit of tension on that. I haven't got nothing done with it, so I'll set it up on 0 now. There we go. And I'll start to bend it. Purpose of the dial indicator, like I got there's everything taken off of that there now, and it's at 20 degrees there now, that bend. So I'm going to keep going and bend it right around, see what the bend looks like. Or until it comes to that welding on the other side there. I'm going to go along that through it. Now, you pick out the pin, slide this back here, drop it in again, start in back here, all over again. Okay, as far as I go, because I'm into the welding, which I want to be. So, what was that anyway? There you go. What was the angle of that? Let's see what the angle was. 72 degrees. You got your bend. It's a nice little braided bend. Now where's the 2? Yeah. Pleased with that. Or tubing pipe, whatever. There's a terminology for one. One is seamless, one is not. I can't remember right now. One of you guys are going to correct me on that, I know you are. But there's an actual seam in this pipe which I got on the inside of the bend. And you should always have it on the outer layer of your bend when you're doing your bends. Don't put them on the inside, don't put them on the outside because it will collapse the pipe. So there you have it. First time using it. Pleased with how it works and everything. That's fine, because the problem you always have with a lot of traditional pipe benders, you kink the inside of them. See, it's got a nice radius bend on it. It would have been nicer if I had to have the seam in the right location. I did notice that it's got a scrape in it going along this outer edge because it pulls its way through it. And by feeling this here, I can feel a little tiny lip on that there. So I'm going to sand that lip off of that and clean up that there bit, and probably just give the dies a little bit of a scuff. But that's minor. This is like a cheaper line of a lot of the benders that you get, the higher end benders. The dies are where the expense is too. So I'm pleased with this here. This will work great for me. No, it's a tool that I've been wanting for a lot of years. And I'm going to make a lot of stuff out of this. And I got a few cars I got to do the winter. One in particular, I got Crusty that I got to do. And Crusty needs a full roll cage. So I'm going to be building the entire cage. And I wanted a bender. I built a number of cages before over the years. And I have always used the old traditional push style benders. And I've used some mechanical ones as well. But I've always wanted a pedestal style one that I can mount of my own. So I got this now. I will experiment with it some more, fine tune it. It's not going to be perfect right off the bat. And I'm going to get some more scrap pipe and make some bends, figure out the angles and make a actual angle die, because I need a piece of pipe that I can actually mark my angles on. So I'll know then when I goes to fit in the car what angle I needs, because that's the biggest thing you got to figure out is this actual turn here compared to your rises from here to here, to how big this turn is. You got to figure all that out. So all that'll come in a future video. But for now, we got ourselves a pipe bender, tubing bender, whatever you want to call it, mounted in the garage. I can probably use this mounting pedestal setup for any other tools as well. I'll take them up now and I'll put some Allen keys down in it to keep it from getting dirty and whatnot. And actually got access to the garage floor. As the way I got it laid out, seems like this is the way it's going to have to be, and I'm going to have to make sure there's nothing in the way over here if I'm doing any large pipes. Or if I spin it around the other way, I'm going to be stood over here, so it really doesn't matter, okay? I need room to do this, so if I turn it this way to pull it this way, the pipe is going to be this way length, so everything's going to be interfering. At least now it's going this way and just bending one way, so I know which way it's bending. And it's usually just the loop, the main loop, that is always trouble. The rest of them are usually small 45-degree bends and whatnot. So anyway, that's it for that one. New tool in the shade. Hope the tips are good, and until next time.